if you get a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to when you graph, what's going to happen is it's going to be a solid line. And you're going to shade one side or the other. It's going to be solid. If you get a less than or a greater than sign, it's going to be a dotted line. So one thing you're going to need to worry about when you graph is it going to be solid or dotted? And it depends on if it has a line underneath, it's solid. So, but for the first two, this first piece doesn't matter. For this particular piece, what we're going to do is we're going to plug x and y into here and see if it's true or false. So I'm going to plug for y, I'm going to plug 5. For x, I'm going to plug -3. And I am going to see if this is true or false. This becomes -6. I end up with 5, and this becomes -12. So is 5 less than -12? No. So this is not a solution to this. This is not a solution for this. Same thing. This is x, this is y. So we have 4 times x minus y is less than or equal to -1. And we are plugging in, what's x? X is -3, y is 5. So 4 times -3 is -12. -12 minus 5. -12 minus 5 is -17. Is -17 less than or equal to -1? Yes. So -3, 5 is a solution for this one. Those are pretty easy problems, but a lot of people miss them. But all we're doing is taking and plugging in the coordinate into the equation to see if it's true or false. Number 3, I'm going to graph this. Now some of you might want to rewrite this as, isn't that like a -1 x? Oops, it's not an equal sign. Sorry. -1x plus 3. Is that okay if I rewrite it so you can see your M and B better for some of you? Anyways, what are we going to begin this? At 3 on the y-axis. We begin at 3 on the y-axis. And where are we going to move? This -1 means we're going to go down 1 and over 1. And we're going to keep going down 1 over 1. Now, here's the difference. Is this a less than or less than or equal to?
Less than.
So what kind of line will it be? Dotted. Something new you have to worry about. And then you actually are going to shade one side or the other. And I have a shortcut that a student found for me that I think works really well for students. Right here, isn't this a less than sign? Less than. Now, which hand matches this line? Your right hand or your left hand? Which hand nicely lines up?
Like this.
Isn't your right hand?
You gotta go like that.
Now, which is the bottom? Less than. Isn't less than bottom? If I put my hand right on top of that, isn't the bottom over here of my hand?
That's so bad.
Less than. There's the answer. Can you tell that this is the top? That's the greater side of it?
Yeah.
It's a real cool way. A student found that out. You'll see. We'll practice a couple. It'll make more sense. Okay, this one we have to change the form, so I'm going to add the x over. That cancels. And then I have x minus 4. Then what? Divide by what? Divide by -4. Now, do you guys remember what happens when you divide by negative? Do you remember the sign flips when you divide by negative? And then, isn't there a 1 there? Isn't that 1/4? Or -1/4? And then, isn't this -4 divided by -4? Which is 1? So where do we begin this graph? You begin this graph at 1. And our slope is negative 1 over 4. So we're going to go down 1 and over 4. So we began at 1, we went down 1 over 4. Is this a dotted or solid line? Which one is it? Well, it's a less than or equal to, so it's a solid line. Now, which hand is this? The right or left? Is that my right hand? And isn't that a less than? So wouldn't it be the bottom of my hand, so down here? So don't I shade down here? Now, if my line went this way, do you understand my bottom's down here? Top is up here?
Which one do you shade the bottom?
In this particular one, it's your right hand, bottom is down here. Less than is bottom, down here. Okay, next one. Wait, this is a little bit different here. This is like one of those vertical or horizontal lines. Isn't y negative 3 right there? Is that a dotted or solid? Or equal to means solid. Do you guys remember y equals 3? It's been a while. But you remember the graph looks like that? For this graph, is y always 3? Does y always equal, negative 3 for that red line? Yeah, y is always negative 3. Now, is this greater than or less than? It's greater. So this is pretty obvious. You don't need to worry about the hands. Which is the top of it? If you can't tell the top of this red line, there's something wrong.
Which one's the top?
If you can't tell the top, something's wrong.
Oh,
There's your top.
we never know.
Less than would be the bottom. I mean, it's pretty obvious, top and bottom of a horizontal line.
Top is like this.
Now, that's the next question. This one, x is 1. Doesn't x equal 1 right there? X is greater than 1. So for the whole line, I have a dotted line, x equals 1 right here. Do you understand? X is 1 all along that line. And it's dotted because it's not or equal to. Now, it's greater. Now, you can't tell top or bottom of this one, can you? But which has a bigger or smaller values? Are the bigger values on this side or this side? Think of a number line. You have a number line right here, right? This is like a number. I'm going left and right. Which side has bigger values?
What side on the right?
Isn't this side have the bigger values? Doesn't this side have the smaller values? Doesn't this side have smaller values? This side has bigger values?